Hi everyone, welcome to this video. Today I will show you how to set up Azure DevOps with SonarCloud to check the quality of your code. We will also look at how we can measure code coverage to make sure your code is fully tested. Whether you are a beginner or experienced, this will help you to improve your development process. So let's get started. So the very first thing we will see what is Sonar Cloud. So Sonar Cloud is a cloud-based service for static code analysis provided by Sonar Source. So basically in Sonar we have a two version. One is Sonar Cloud, that is a cloud service, and if you want to set up Sonar in your local environment or in your on-premise environment, then also we have a setup for Sonar. So it's completely depend on you. Either you want to go with on-premise or self-hosted Sonar version, or if you want to use a Sonar Cloud. So in this video, we are majorly focusing on Sonar Cloud only. So what it does basically, so whenever any developers write their code, and as soon as the CI pipeline pick that code, then what it does basically, it will identify if is there any bugs or code smells or vulnerabilities in your source code or in your application code which you are developing. So code smells basically like poor quality of code, like you have lengthy classes, you have some like lengthy logics, so those things basically, or is there any bug, is there any security related issues, all these things will be identified via Sonar itself. So you can easy, as soon as your CI pipeline will trigger, you have the visibility. Okay, this might whatever the quality gates you have configured, like basically you have to set up some kind of rules in quality in Sonar Cloud. So based on those rules which you have defined in Sonar Cloud, it will measure your code. If you want like I want 100% code quality for my application, so like that basically you have a multiple options, and by default there are many built-in rules, industry standard rules is already there, which you can utilize in Sonar Cloud to check the code quality of your application. So Sonar Cloud also integrate with various CI/CD pipelines like Azure DevOps, GitHub Actions, and Jenkins. So these are the CI/CD tools. So it is very easy to integrate Sonar Cloud with any CI tools, and it also support over 25 programming languages. Like either you are developing your application C Sharp, C, .NET, Java, JavaScript. So all these languages Sonar Cloud supports. So it's completely up to you, whatever the language you are using to develop your application. Based on your language, you can choose a code analysis tool. It's already Sonar. Like framework, like for .NET, we have something different. So like that, basically, you have a capabilities based on your programming language, what you want to test, all those things you can set up in a Sonar Cloud. So we will see in demo how we can integrate Sonar Cloud with our Azure DevOps. In this particular video, I'm going to use Azure DevOps as a CI/CD tool to run the code analysis or for our application. Let's see what is the key features of Sonar Cloud. The very first feature is code quality and security. So it detects issue like code smells, like poor coding practice basically, bugs, any securities, vulnerabilities, like suppose in your application code you have set up DB credentials. Then it will detect by the Sonar Cloud, okay, you should not use these particular credentials. This should be like parameterized, or it should be stored somewhere like Azure Key Vault or any secure place. So normal people easily can't see the credentials, which is again a security threat for your complete application. So those things basically it's captured by Sonar Cloud. The next feature is technical debt management. So it calculates the effort required to fix the identified issues. As soon as Sonar identify the issues in your code, it has the capabilities, like it's not approx capabilities it will provide, like you have to fix this issue ideally based on their rules which is defined. Based on that, it will tell you, okay, to fix this particular issue you need 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, like that. It has the capability. So it can, so this particular tool can provide you, okay, this much hours or this much effort is going to take to fix this particular issue. Third feature we have here, integration. So it can be easily integrate with any CI/CD tools, as we discussed, Azure DevOps, GitHub, Jenkins, any CI/CD tools, and it also have capabilities like to analyze the pull requests and branches. Like it's completely depend on, like suppose you have three branches, you want to analyze the code on your main branch, feature branch. So like that you have a capability to define, because whatever the CI pipeline you are going to create, you are going to include your branches. Either it could be one or two or three. It's completely depend on the scenario, how basically you want to analyze the source code of your application. Fourth feature we have here, code coverage. So measure test coverage and helps maintain code quality over time. So code coverage part I'll come to little later, after maybe this particular slide. Next we have a compliance. So it supports coding standard and helps organization maintain compliance with security guidelines like OSHAP, SANS, and top 25 and CW. Like many security standards we already have, like OSHAP. This is a security or compliance basically. If your application or your code base is compliance to these particular guidelines which is provided by these tools like OSHAP or SANS, so you have the visibility. Okay, my coding is not in a particular standard format, and you we have to modify some kind of like DB credentials, any URLs which you have defined. So those things it will easily capture in your CI run itself. So it's not like you have to completely deploy your code, then you will identify, okay, I had these issues, I think I should fix it. So in early phase you detect these kind of issues via SonarCloud itself. Now we will see what all the prerequisite we have if we want to integrate with Azure DevOps. So the very first thing you should have a SonarCloud account. If you don't have, you have to create a one, or either if you want, you can also log in with your Google account. Ideally it's not a best practice, it's always your organization account which you have to use. Second, we have a GitHub account also. If your source code is in GitHub, then you can log in with your GitHub account as well. So like that there are many options to sign up on SonarCloud account. Second requirement we have here, you should have a project in SonarCloud, which under this particular project you are going to analyze your applications. Third, we need a security token. So this particular authentication token required when you create a service connection from Azure DevOps to SonarCloud. Then you need some kind of authentication mechanism. So here we are gonna see how we can create a security token which will be used for service connection between Azure DevOps and SonarCloud. Fourth, we have a project key. So when you create a project, it will automatically create a project key. These project key and project name will be required in your CI pipeline. Sixth, we have during project creation, it will automatically create some kind of authentication token which will be used in your pipeline. So it will have the understanding, okay, I should run this particular project under this particular branch or in Azure DevOps project. Seventh, definitely we need to create a service connection between SonarCloud and Azure DevOps. So these are the prerequisites which we need to know or we need to create when we are going to create or integrate SonarCloud with Azure DevOps. Now let's see what is code coverage. So code coverage basically shows how much of your code is tested by automated testing, like unit tests. So like there are many tests which you can create. So suppose in this particular video I'm gonna show a Java application. So for Java application I need a JUnit. So your application should have those tests already written, then only it can analyze your code and it can provide you a detail. It helps ensure your code is being tested thoroughly and identifying the parts of code that are covered by tests and the part that are not covered by. So when you run this JUnit test, for example I'm taking here, then what it does basically, it will test your complete code. Whatever the JUnit test you have written for different modules, or you have suppose two lines of applications, some demo application. So based, it's completely depend how many modules you want to test. So for accordingly, you have to write a JUnit test if you are using a Java project or Java application. Third, we have, you can configure code coverage to run as part of your CI/CD pipeline in Azure DevOps. So during the build or release pipeline, unit tests are executed and code coverage results are generated. So these things are also we are going to see when we run our pipeline. So it will provide you a visibility in Azure DevOps itself. As soon as your build will be completed, it will show you, okay, these many modules or these many lines of code is tested by the JUnit test which you have written. Now let's see what is the supported testing framework. If so, the very first is Maven for Java project. So if you are using JUnit, for example, as a unit test, then you can utilize a tool called Jacko or Covertura to test your for automation testing basically. If you are using a .NET application, .NET Core, then you have a tool called Coverlet, and if you are using JavaScript, you have a tool called Istanbul. So these are the framework which you are going to use when you are going to run automated test for your application. So let's, in this demo, I'm going to use Java application. So I have choosing the framework Jacko, which is called a Java code coverage. So we are going to see how to run Jacko code coverage for our application. So to run a Jacko code, you need a JUnit test, as we already discussed, or other supported test framework. So how basically this Jacko code coverage is going to work? First thing, you have to write a JUnit test. Without JUnit test, it will not analyze anything for you. So the very first thing, you have to write a test using JUnit framework, and these tests will run different part of your code. It's completely depend on your coding part, how you want to test your application. So accordingly, you have to write JUnit test for your application. After JUnit test, the next thing is Jacko coverage. So as the JUnit test run, Jacko tracks which lines and branch of the code are executed during those tests and generate a coverage report. So basically, Jacko, what is going to do? It's basically going to generate a coverage report for you. But actually, what JUnit is doing? JUnit is actually doing the testing of your application of your code basically. So in summary, if we talk about JUnit, or if you have any other application like .NET or JavaScript, then obviously we have to use a different framework. So based on your project or your application requirement, you have to choose a framework to run these unit tests. As soon as Jacko measure how much of your code was covered by those tests. So basically, JUnit is doing everything for you, and Jacko is just tracking what JUnit did, and it will basically generate a report for you. So let me quickly go to the demo here. So I will show you what all we have to do here. So let me go to my Azure DevOps project here. Okay, so actually I have opened the Azure Cloud. Let me go to Azure DevOps. So this is my Azure DevOps project called Azure DevOps, and here I have different like multiple repositories. So this is the sample Java project which I'm gonna test. So before moving to repo or pipeline part, let me just quickly show you how basically code coverage reports and SonarCloud reports looks like. So if you can see, there are many extensions. So I forget one thing here. When you are integrating a SonarCloud, obviously you have to download the extension from the marketplace. So let's talk about JUnit first. So you can see in my application there are 6 total tests, and all the tests are pass, and it range 7 milliseconds. you can see 6 pass, 0 fail, 0 others. So this is basically reports is generated by JUnit test. Now if I come to the next extension part, so here you can see the quality gate things, Sonar Cloud Analysis Report. So if you want to see the reports, you just simply go here, see analysis details on Sonar Cloud. So you just simply click on that link and it will show you all the analysis which is done as part of your project. So this is suppose Java application I'm gonna use. So if I go to analysis here, so you can see overall zero new issues, overall code if we'll see, we can see here 1 reliability here, 7 maintainability, open issues, and if you can see that hours here, sorry, severity here, high severity we are showing here, here also we have high severity. So it means we have to fix these open issues before we go to the deployment phase. And you can see the code coverage here report is showing 50%. So as soon as you integrate Jacko with your Azure DevOps, it will automatically take the report from there and it will show you na Sonar Cloud dashboard as well. And you can see no conditionals like duplication, any other things if you have. So all these things you can see in this particular board here itself. Now let me go back to my Azure DevOps here. So this is the code coverage. You can see 50% I am getting here, line coverage 50%, one module, 12 total lines and 6 covered line. And we can see 50% here because total line was 12 and it covered only 6 lines. And so that's why we are getting line coverage is 50%. This is because there are few like missing JUnit test which I have not written as part of my project. If we have all, if we have written a proper JUnit test for all these modules or all these lines, then definitely we will get here 100% line coverage here. So that's what we are getting 50% line coverage here. If I'll go back to the tests here, you can see it only runs 6 tests. Either it should run 12 tests because the total line if we will see here 12, but it run for only for 6 lines. That's what we are getting 50% line coverage here. So these are the things basically we are going to see in little more detail now. So I'll go back to my PPT here. I'll go to open this prerequisite first because the very first thing we need to integrate Sonar Cloud with service connection. Actually, I have already done that. I'll just quickly show you how we have to do. So this is my demo, is my organization. You can see this part is a Sonar Cloud URL and organization I have demo UAKS. So whenever you sign up for your Azure Sonar Cloud account, the very first thing you have to create your organization. And under organization you will create a project. So if I go back to the Sonar Cloud here, okay, let me log in it first. So I will use GitHub account to log in. There are many options you can see to log into the Sonar Cloud. Okay, so it sends me a verification code. Let me quickly open my Gmail. So this is the security code I have to provide there. So now we will see a little more in clear way. So let me go to my organization here. So under organization, basically here most of the things are administration part which you can do. So I have only one project called demo here. So if I'll go to my projects, so I have one project demo, and under this particular demo project I am basically testing my application. The name of my application is Java-app, and you can see a lot of details here. So what I will do, I will create a new project here. So let me go to click here, create, analyze new project, and here you have option if you want to import your project from a GitHub. What I don't want, I am going to choose a manually. So this is the organization name demo and the display name of my project. So let me give here testing app. So you can see the display name and project key. So if I go back to my here, you can see the project name was Java hyphen app and project key was demo AKS hyphen Java app. So in similar way, I am getting a demo AKS hyphen. This is the display name of my project. So let me quickly copy this particular thing, because these keys I have to pass in my CI pipeline. I will open a notepad here. So let me copy paste my project key here. The next thing what I will do, I will click on next. Now here we have two options. The new code for this project will be based on previous version of or number of days. So I'll go for previous version and I will hit on create project. So now you can see my new project testing hyphen app is created. I'm using this is a public project, because if you have to use a private project, then definitely you have to purchase the license for SonarCloud. So here basically choose your analysis method. So again I'm gonna here manually, and I will choose what option best describe your project. So it means in which language you have written your project. It's Java, .NET, C or Python, any PHP, all these things you will get options. So based on that you have to configure these details in your project or in your applications. So most of the things you will see here, we have to add these things in our pom.xml file. So this thing also we will see. So the next thing what I will do, I will copy this token credential, because this sonar hyphen token will I have to use in my pipeline for authentication to this particular project. So let me copy this as well. So now everything is completed. What I will do next, I will go back to my Azure DevOps here, and this is the pipeline. Let me quickly show you the pipeline as well. What I will do, I will mention the link of this particular application or project in the description box, so you can, if you want, you can have a look as well. So this is my application here. The very first thing what I'm going to run maven build and test command here. Next I'm gonna do publish JUnit test result. Then I'm gonna publish code coverage result. The next thing I'm gonna run SonarCloud analysis for my applications. So here if you can see in SonarCloud analysis preparation, here we have to change few parameters here. So client project key, now it's changed to, let me open my command notepad file. Now it's become new project, because we have created a new project. So I have to change that project key here, and project name also. So the project name was testing hyphen app. Now all the fields will remains as it is. So I will just validate and save this. Now the next thing what we have to do, we have to again edit this one, because okay, let me go to variable. So here basically we have to change the token for the new project which we have created here. So let me add this particular thing, and I will save it. So this is the configuration or the parameters which you have to pass in your CI pipeline. This is not a best practice to use a direct client key, project key or token in a like normal way. It should be you have to create a variable in a library or somewhere else if you go wherever you want. But these details should be in a secured location. So this part is completed, CI pipeline part. This is not very high-end configuration which I am doing, just a simple step which I have added. Now let me go back to my pom.xml file. Let me see if I have to add anything here as well. So this is the SonarCloud sample project I have created, and this is our pipeline.xml file. So here we have to create a Sonar project properties file as well. So here you have to define few things. like Sonar project key and organization name, Sonar host URL. If you are using, so for example, on-premise version of Sonar, then these things you have to change as per your like depends if you are using cloud or self-hosted version. So those parameters values you have to pass it here. So let me quickly change the project key here. So the new project key was demo aks hyphen testing app. Okay, let me edit this one. And the organization name is the same because I have not created a new organization, so I'm going to use existing organization, so the name is correct here. Now you can see the path to the source file. So it is always a good practice, or it's also necessary you should have your source code in a separate folder or separate location, and your test file should be in a separate location, so it will not confuse the Sonar, okay, from where we have to pick what. So the folder structure should be in a proper way. So rest all the things, nothing we have to change here. So you can see here path to the test report and coverage report. So these are the default location which I have passed here. Target sites, Jacko, Jacko.xml. So this is for code coverage, and this is for our JUnit test. Let me commit these changes. Now the next thing what you have to change here, you have to go to your pom.xml file. So you have to use dependencies. Just suppose I'm gonna run JUnit for, because this is the Java application, so you have to add the dependencies here. And the next thing, you have to use the Jacko plugin for your code coverage. So here, if you can see here, this is the code coverage plugin which I have used here. So you have to use these particular plugins as well. And rest all the fields remain same, like it's normal Java project you build, so all those things will be same. Just you have to add dependencies and plugin in your pom.xml file. So it has basically it will know, okay, what I need to run and where I need to run. All those things should be, because Java for example, for .NET application we sometimes maps .cs project file or solution file, but in Java application we have to point upon pom.xml file. So this your pom.xml file should be in a proper format. So this is completed. Now let me go back. Okay, I forget one thing about the service connection, because that is the main part here. So for service connection you have to go to your project settings, and you can see here service connection here. So this is the extension which you can download from the marketplace, which I have already done that. And here you have to create a authentication token, and you have to provide the SonarCloud service connection name, and just verify and save it. Let me show you how we can create a SonarCloud token for authentication purpose. Let me go to my SonarCloud account. So you go to my account here. Under security, here we have an option, you can provide any friendly name here, and you can generate the token, and that generated token you have to use in your service connection. So basically it will stabilize the connection between SonarCloud and your Azure DevOps. So I have already done that, so I'm not going to do again. And you have to provide the permissions for your pipeline as well. So you can see here, grant access permission to all the pipelines, so which I have already done that. If you have one pipeline, it's okay. If you have multiple pipelines, if you want to choose, okay, I don't want to give permission to this particular pipeline, then you can choose that thing also from here. So let me close this. Now what I will do, I'll go to my pipeline here. Let me run the Java project. So earlier, if I'll go back to here, my project. So now we have two projects, demo-java app and demo-testing app. This is the new one which we have created, and you can see project is not analyzed yet. So let me run this pipeline. Let's see what happened. So it is going to take couple of minutes to run the entire pipeline. Let's wait. Once the pipeline is completed, I will resume back. Okay, so the build is completed now. Let's see. So if you can see, all the steps, all the tasks which we have defined in our pipeline, all are completed now. So let's quickly publish test results. You can see two tests run. All these things basically you can see. And code coverage result also, it's completed, there is no issues. Let me quickly go to the analysis part here. So if I'll go check here test is, you can see again it's six test, and now you can see the time at 20 millisecond. Earlier it was 15, now this is 20 milliseconds. These basically will change every time whenever you run your application or this EA unit test is. Now I'll go to extension here. So you can see a Sonar Cloud analysis report quality gate none testing app. So if I'll just refresh this page, so basically it is not analyzed yet. If I'll just open this particular application, not compounded. So whenever you run the second time, then you will see the status of your quality gate here basically. So if I'll just rerun the pipeline, okay, let me show you the code coverage report as well. So again, it's 15% because 6 line it's only covered by JUnit. That's what we are covering 50% here. Okay, let me rerun the pipeline here. Now this time when the pipeline will be completed, we can see the status here, quality gate status, either it will be fail or pass. So now you can see the build is completed. Let me go back to my Sonar Cloud. Now you can see the quality gate is passed. What happened when we run the first time? Then what it does basically, Sonar Cloud, it basically initialize the analysis of your project after the first run, and it sets some baseline for your application code, whatever you have written. As soon as you run the second time, it will show the quality gate status, either it is pass, full, or whatever. So if I'll show here coverage, you can see 12 lines to cover, 6 covered line. If you have any duplications and all those things you will see here. And if you have any issues, I can see I have 8 issues open. And if you have to see the full analysis of your application, you have to go to full analysis, and you can see lot of details here. If you have issues, security hotspots, so you can see lot of details you can see here basically, and it will show you where exactly you are getting this. Suppose let me open this one. So you can see it will show you properly, okay, in which file or which line you are getting this warnings. You can see these red dotted underline lines, it means there are some issues with this particular lines. Actually I'm not a developer, so I cannot tell you exactly why we are getting these warnings, but if you are a developer, you will notice, okay, why this is coming, what we need to do. If you can see, these are the uncovered line, and these are the covered line, partially covered. So like that you will see a lot of details here only. So all the issues you will see here, and you can see here we are getting the effort also to fix these particular issue. Suppose 10-minute effort we are getting here, for some we are getting 1-minute effort only. So like that you have the Sonar Cloud has the capabilities to tell you are going to take this much of your time to fix this particular issue. So there are a lot of things you can see here. If you have any security hotspots, like you have provided some kind of DB credentials or any secret which you are not supposed to provide as per the rules, then it will show you all the details here. And if you are go to measures, it will show how many lines, lot of things, lot of data you can see, reliability, security, lot of details you can find it from here. And if I go to code here, you can see the code also, source, main, Java, all these things you can see from here. And activity also, like what, like this is a version 1, at what time it run, all these details of your application, of your analysis, you can see in a Sonar Cloud. Now these application basically is tested with the default quality gates. If you want to create your own quality gate, you can do that also in Sonar Cloud. So let me show you. Go to administrator part, quality gates. So default is a Sonar way. If you want to create a new tool, new quality gate, you can do that also. Okay, let me go to organization settings. So you can see Sonar with default is a built-in one. So these are the conditions which basically is checked in your code. But if you want to customize these particular settings, you can create your own quality gate as well based on your requirement. Basically, so that option also you have here. So I hope it's clear how we can integrate Sonar Cloud with Azure DevOps and how we can generate a code coverage report. This particular demo was for Java application. That's why I have used JUnit. If you have any other languages which you have used to develop your application, then accordingly you have to choose the coverage tool and the framework for your application. So I hope it's clear. That's all for today. If you have any issues, just ping me on comment. I'll try to reply as soon as possible. That's all for today. See you next video. Thank you so much.